Well, hi there. My name is Mary Owusu. I'm a professor of marketing, and I'm also the entrepreneur and CEO of my own business called Guru Bound. On top of that, I sit on the DAA board with my friend David McBride, who it's my pleasure to share the stage with today. We're here to tell you about what we've been up to as far as the anti-racism initiatives of the DAA is concerned. Before we get into that, David, would you like to say
Hi,
something?
David McBride. Thanks, Mary. It is a pleasure to serve with you on this anti-racism task force and to be on the board of directors of the DAA. On my day job, I work at Course 5 Intelligence. We're an analytics consultancy. So that's me.
That's David. And it's been a pleasure just going through what we're doing with this anti-racism initiative with David. I just wanted to bring you all up to speed, like I said. So we all know that what happened earlier this year in May with the murder of George Floyd was a pivotal moment for all of us. And for many of us, it was an awakening for what we know had already been happening for years and continues to happen, and it cannot continue to happen. So the DAA immediately wanted to be a part of the solution. And I can attest to the fact that, the emails that went back and forth across the board when the murder of George Floyd happened was, passionate, compassionate, and everything else. It was just, we knew we needed to do something. So immediately we put out a statement, I think within a few days of the unfortunate murder of George Floyd. And then from there, we called a meeting of a small group of DAA folks to just brainstorm, have an initial brainstorm as to what it is that we could do as an organization, as a community. Mostly people of color that have been a part of the DAA for a long time were able to offer their ideas, and we started to jot down some of those ideas and create a resource. But we knew we didn't have to stop there. We did not need to stop there because there was, the broader DAA community who also had something to say. So in late June, we held a town hall meeting. And in that meeting, we had I think 200 or so of the DAA community sign up for that town hall meeting. We had a great session. And at the beginning of that session, David, do you remember what we did? It was so impactful.
Oh, you asked people to share how they were feeling in the chat window, and the reactions, the range of reactions from depressed to concerned to optimistic, energized, ready. It was humbling. And I would submit that probably a lot of people there were feeling all of those emotions. But by asking that, you tapped into, or you invited people to share how this issue of racism and the potential to do something about it was impacting people on an emotional level. It was very powerful.
It was powerful. I feel like as analysts, sometimes, we don't bring our emotions to work, right? But we are called to be emotional in this moment. And that moment in particular was very moving. So we got into breakout rooms as well in that session. And we heard from so many folks about what exactly they were feeling and what also we felt that we could do about that. What could we do about racism? What could we do specifically as a DAA about racism? And so each of these breakout rooms was able to come up with a list, not only to form relationships, because I think we've got some friendships blossoming in those groups, but also to come up with these lists of ideas of how the DAA could move forward to take action, not just say we wanted to do something, but actually to do something. We had 50 plus ideas that came out of that big, broad session. And we also asked for volunteers who wanted to be a part of putting these actions to work, who wanted to help us move these forward. And we got a good number of hands raised in that session as well. So we got to work again, and we had a session of those folks that said yes, the folks that wanted to be a part of the task force. And in that group meeting, again, the energy was high. And David, you put together all those ideas into a Jamboard, right?
Right. Well, we had these 50 ideas, but we weren't quite sure how to categorize them. How should we organize ourselves for action going forward? And we went into a meeting with those who had raised their hands, who wanted to be part of the solution. We said, let's get together as a task force and start to sort through these ideas. And it was remarkable how we were able to sort of create some consistent groupings of different types of actions that we could take.
Mhm. And, just like the analysts that we are, we got to work, right? So some of the action items were short term. We felt we could accomplish them within a matter of weeks, sometimes 2 to 6 weeks. And then some actions were more midterm, might take us 3 months to 6 months to accomplish. Maybe by the end of 2020, we could have those things accomplished. And then there were some longer term ideas as well that would take us 12 months to 24 months to get done. And what I'm excited about is the fact that we've got folks assigned to each of these groups, as well as co-leaders for each of these groups that are just jazzed to do the work and to get the help to do the work, right? We realize that we all have day jobs. So we need some help to get the job done, but we also understand the gravity of the importance of getting this done. So not only did we want to bring you up to speed as to what the DAA has been doing from an anti-racism perspective, but also where we're going, what our next steps are. So one of those next steps is that the groups would love to have your involvement. If you want to be a part of any of these groups, we would love for you to raise your hand and say, yeah, I think I'd love to be a part of the internal, external, and data groups. David, can you explain those three groups? Because
sure. Yeah, so these natural groupings that we saw emerge from these 50 or so ideas were pretty cleanly categorized into either something that's internal to the DAA, something that DAA members can do for other DAA members. Maybe that's funding a membership at a historically Black college or university for DAA membership. That might be an internally focused idea. An external group that's focused on perhaps maybe creating, what's an example there? Maybe creating a regular outreach, adopting a school where we can teach kids about opportunities within analytics. And then there's a data and research group, which is the third, which will be focused on using data to help illustrate the opportunities to make our society more anti-racist, or to remove bias from interviewing, for example, or to remove bias from reporting and dashboards. So we still have a lot of work to do, and that's why we need everyone's help. But these are kind of the main three categories: internal, external, and data/research.
Mm-hmm. So if any of those sort of sound like they might be interesting to you, we would love for you to just send an email to the DAA and let us know that you're interested, so that we can at least, fill you in on more detail if that's what you need, or to sign you right up with a group so you can help us move these forward. Because we need committees, we need groups to get these ideas to move forward. And the email that you would send your email to is membership@digitalanalyticsassociation.org. membership@digitalanalyticsassociation.org. And in addition to us needing your help with that, we also could really, it's not something else we need your help with. It's just to let you know that we've got some things coming up. And what that is we're building up the DAA's website to have a designated anti-racism section to it that we'll use to communicate with you, to let you know what's going on, but most importantly, to build two-way dialogue so that you can also communicate with us. So whether that is that you can go there to suggest ideas or to share what we've got going on with others, we just want you to know that we've got that in the works, because we think transparency is everything. If we are going to be a pioneer, a leader, a participant in this anti-racism initiative and movement, then we need to hold our feet to the fire and be accountable, just like we all are in our jobs when it comes to data, right? So we need this website to be a place where we communicate with each other, you to us, us to you, to let you know what we're doing, and for you to offer us feedback and input. So you'll hear from us again when that is up and live, but we definitely want you to know that it's coming. And we just want to thank you for everything you've done up to now. Is there anything else, David, that we forgot to mention?
I think you covered it. I guess maybe I'd add my perspective that this is sobering, challenging work, but like any work that's worth doing, it will have a positive outcome and effect. And it's wonderful to join with like-minded individuals to make such a difference in our community and in our society.
Couldn't have said it better. This is not a one-sided fight. This is an all hands on deck fight. If we're going to fight racism, it's got to be from all sides and from all people. So I can't say enough how grateful we are for your commitment so far, to be involved, to listen, to read the things we've put out so far, to participate so far. And we hope that you continue to be a part of this actively with us as we move it forward.